some time ago, uh, this is when I was still in my 20s, so we're talking about 1837. I was in New York and I was teaching Sunday school, and I'm sure many of you have been to prison. I mean Sunday school before too, and so I was teaching Sunday school, and I had the 11, 12-year-old kids, and the masjid didn't have like different rooms. They had those partitions, right? And there was the teenagers on the other side, and the teacher for the teenagers was a little bit late, so they were talking to each other, and I'm trying to teach, so I just decided, guys, don't worry about teaching. Let's just listen to the teenage kids. So we were just eavesdropping on the teenagers. Then their teacher showed up, and he said, sit down, sit down. And they all sit down, and then the teacher says to them, I want to know, what is the most amazing story you ever heard? That's what he asked the kids, teenagers. And everybody sort of started participating, answering. Dragon Ball, Transformers, this is ancient, so yeah. And then, X-Men, and people started mentioning certain video games that have a really good storyline, and they started arguing with each other about which story is better and which is not. That happened, and the teacher was not expecting any of this. He said, no, 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 no. It's the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. We're telling you the best story. Allah says it's the best story. And the kids are like, oh yeah. The problem with that, it's etched in my mind, that experience, because the kids are accepting the stories of the Quran as the best because they're being told to accept them as the best, not because they feel that they're the best. But when you tell them, hey, there's a new movie coming out, or did you watch the new series? Did you see the new release? There's an excitement. Oh my God, did you see that story? Oh my God, the plot twist at the end. Oh, is the final episode already out? And so I felt like something is deeply missing. Yes, we can have halaqat of tafsir, and we can have, khutbahs for Jumu'ah, and we can have all that stuff. But one of the things that every society in history has passed down generation after generation is actually stories, right? Even children's songs are basically stories, right? And stories are so powerful in human history that they are a trillions of dollars of industry. Everything from novels to comic books to manga to anime to action films to TV series, all of that is what in the end? It's stories. And stories are so powerful that even in journalism, the editor has to make the news event, storyboard it, and present it like a story for it to make sense. They can't just tell the news. They have to turn it into a story. And the Quran, the final communication from God to humanity, Allah decided that He could have communicated His wisdom to us any way He chose. He's the owner of all knowledge. And He decides to make one of the most fundamental pieces of the way the Quran delivers its message. One of its most core components is the telling of stories. It's fundamental to the Quran. And it's not just the telling of the story, because Allah isn't just interested in telling you what happened. He tells it in a really compelling, beautiful, thought-provoking way. Now, what's the purpose of a story when somebody goes and watches it on Netflix or on Amazon or HBO, or when somebody watches a short film, or some people still go to the theater, I don't know. But when they go and they watch a movie, what is the reason for which you want to watch a movie? Entertainment. Escape from reality. Or sometimes it's very gently commenting on your reality in some way, right? So some people are watching something emotional on the TV screen, they're like, why are you crying? Just the pain. They're a paid actor. It's saline. Anyway, so the point that I'm making is stories are a massive form of entertainment. The Quran does not want to dismiss that, because the fact that a story should actually be compelling to get your attention, it has to have some level of entertainment in it. It has to. If it's not interesting to you, it won't get your attention. So it's not like I can say, oh, the Quran stories have no entertainment in them. That's incorrect, actually. The Quran stories have no dramatic elements in them. That's also incorrect. But the Quran stories have something all the time, every time, with every piece of the story, there's something there that is just not there in any other story. You know what that is? There's something to take for your life in every part of the story. There's something in that story, fihi dhikrukum, in it, it's actually talking about you. It's touching on you in some way, and myself in some way. So what I wanted to do, if there were kids here, I was going to take a different approach, but since you're, grown kids, I'm going to still tell you some parts of a story. It's just a very small piece of a story, but I want you to just pay attention to how Allah tells it. How Allah tells it. And this is personally one of my favorite stories in the Quran. I've talked about it a million times. I'm kind of still debating. Maybe I'll take a vote. Either I'll share with you a scene, just a scene from one of the stories or scenes from Musa alayhi salam. Either that one, or one small scene from the life of Yusuf alayhi salam. So you could pick. Show of hands for Musa. Show of hands for Yusuf. Alright, you people have a problem. Okay. Let me tell you why you like the story of Yusuf so much. Let me just help you out. I love the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam went through so much hardship just like me. And he had so many people in his own family that were so jealous of him. I know what that feels like. I know exactly what he was going through because I don't know why everybody's so jealous of me all the time. I don't even do anything wrong and I feel like I'm the one that gets thrown under the bus, thrown in a jail. Everybody's always criticizing me. God, you love the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Not you, your neighbor from Ohio. They love the story of Yusuf alayhi salam because it allows them to celebrate being a victim. Because now, just like money is currency, crypto is currency, being a victim is also currency. And you can actually make being a victim can be a whole identity. I'm going to make a video about my trauma, and this time I'm going to talk about the trauma and what it does to your driving. And tomorrow I'll make a video about how trauma affects brushing your teeth. If you're really that traumatized, how do you have the time to color correct the camera? And then on top of the celebration of being a victim, there's another interesting thing that's happened, especially in the Muslim scene. You guys don't do this. People in Ohio do this. You guys don't do this. Yeah. Not Wisconsin either. Okay, so you know what they do? They'll take a picture of themselves while making dua. Or while crying, looking up at the sky. Who was holding the camera? And then they'll do it and they'll put a meme underneath when you only have Allah to turn to. Remember Surat Yusuf, hashtag Surah Yusuf. You know what that's become? We all have pain in our life, but social media has given us an opportunity to broadcast our pain. Broadcast it to the world. That's what it's done. So what I'm going to share with you a little bit is something about that. Maybe I'll share two things with you, but at least one for starters from the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. And that has to do with the first scene of the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam comes to his father at the opening of the story in the Quran, and he says, Ya abati inni ra'aytu ahada ashara kawkaban wash-shamsa wal-qamara ra'aytuhum li sajidin. My beloved father, basically saying like, Dad, I love you. I saw 11 stars, the sun and the moon. I saw them doing sajda, prostrating before me. Okay. Who did he tell this to? His father. Okay. And he started by saying, Dad, I love you. Everything in the Quran is significant. Do you guys accept that? Everything in the Quran. There's no extra information in the Quran. In fact, I want you to remember this part properly. The conversation I'm having with you right now, I've been speaking for 5-7 minutes. If you made a transcript of it, it would be 3-4 pages already. You know that? 3-4 pages. The life of Ibrahim alayhi salam is well over 100 years. Okay? And if you were documenting every conversation he ever had in his life, how big would that be? Do you understand? It would be millions of pages. You understand that? In the Quran, the entire life of Ibrahim alayhi salam, Allah chose certain moments that amount to a handful of pages, which actually amounts to a handful of minutes. 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of his life are in the Quran. You with me? 30 minutes of his life. And even when I say, Yusuf said to his father, my dad, I saw 11 stars, the sun and the moon, I saw them making sajda. How much time did that take to say? Few seconds. 10, 15 seconds. That sentence is done. It's over. Allah did not give us their lives. Allah gave us seconds from their life. You understand this? So now Allah chose from those seconds. What He decided to keep is, after rejecting a lot of their history, a lot of their story did not make it to the Quran. So the final cut that makes it into the Quran, every part of it is significant. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Okay? Now if you understand that, then the fact that he says, Ya abati wa ta tushir ila al-hub wal-karam, it's as if you say, my beloved and respected father. That's what the first statement is. My beloved and respected father. I know nobody speaks like this. Not anymore, right? We don't say my beloved and respected father. Or we don't, but I'll give you the, you know, the United States equivalent of Ya abati, Dad, I love you. So he didn't just say Dad, he said Dad, I love you. By the way, if you just want to say Dad, you could just say Ya abi. In fact, even if he didn't say Dad, if he just said, I saw 11 stars, the sun and the moon, and he never mentioned his dad, calling his dad, the statement would still be understood. When Yusuf said to his father, I saw 11 stars. So the fact that Allah mentioned, Dad, I love you, my beloved, respected father, is a choice Allah made for every believer to contemplate. This is significant. Okay, so let's ask this question. I've asked this question in, I would say, about 50 cities around the world now. This same question I'm about to ask you. How many people were raised hearing from their dad that he loves them for no reason at all? Just randomly, he just says, son, I love you. Beta, I love you. Beti, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Just a regular thing. Show of hands. Yeah, you're about the same statistics as the rest of the ummah. And please make note of whoever raised their hand so we can scratch their car on the way out. You know what happens in many families? But you know, it might be confusing to some of you. I'm saying, hey, how many dads, you remember your dad saying he loves you all the time for no reason? But actually, I should be asking how many kids were saying it, because the story is not about a dad saying it. The story is about a kid saying it. But actually, kids copy what they hear. You see viral videos online of kids using foul language, right? Little 2-year-old saying, what the beep, 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 and it's millions of views. Where did that kid learn to speak like that? Where did he get it? And he's pointing at his dad. Instagram. Okay. You learn it from adults. So if Yusuf, a child, is saying to his dad, Dad, I love you, where do you imagine he learned that from? From his dad. Very good. So his dad says, Yusuf, I love you, give me some water. Yusuf, I love you, come sit with me. Yusuf, I love you, it's time to go to bed. Yusuf, I love you, it's cold outside, wear something warm. Yusuf, I love you, come here, sit with me. Yusuf, I love you, your mother's calling you. Yusuf, I love you, close the window. Yusuf, I love you, Yusuf, I love you, Yusuf, I love you. And what does Yusuf learn to do? Dad, I love you, Dad, I love you, Dad, I love you. Anything, Dad, I love you. He responds. But of course, it's in the Quran, so it's clearly guidance for you and me. And perhaps the first guidance we're getting is families, and by the way, this is not just about father and son, this is about all loving relationships. All of them. Perhaps one of the lessons that we're getting out of this story from the very opening is that a family has to be one in which love is expressed. You actually have to let someone know you love them. And it doesn't have to just be from the words, I love you. It could be something like, I miss you. It could be something like, sit next to me. It could be something like, I haven't seen you for so long, and it just makes me happy to see you happy. Loving words. I'm proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Something kind. And you know what? That's really hard to do for family members, for Pakistanis. No, for everybody. It's hard. In fact, many parents, none of them here, all of them in Ohio, many parents will sing the praises of their children to everyone else. My son, he went to University of Michigan, graduated in 3 years. And they'll talk up their kid, their son, their daughter. Oh, my son, mashallah, my daughter does this for me. She does everything. She does every and then the daughter comes home. Tumne kiya kya apni zindagi mein? What have you ever done with your life? You think you've ever done anything? The daughter herself will never hear kind words about herself. Everybody else will hear them, though. Everybody else will hear them. In fact, the daughter will never even know. The son will never even know they're that nice in their absence. It's like reverse ghiba, right? But sometimes you get a glimpse of it when you go to a wedding together, right? When you go to a wedding together, you have to look like a happy family, right? So you could be fighting on your way to the wedding hall. Okay, we're getting the cameras are on. Assalamu alaikum, this is my son, so proud of him. And even the son is like, are you proud of me? I'm confused. Yusuf alayhi salam is teaching us, and his father is teaching us something amazing. You have to be able to express love. By the way, in some families, expressing love is a paid service. You don't get it free. You got to do something for it. If you do this, then your father will make dua for you. Maa ki dua chahiye ki nahi? You want it or not? You want your mom's love? And the only time you might get a hug or a pat on the shoulder or I'm proud of you, if you give some money, if you do what they told you to do, if you gave up what you wanted, if you basically handed control over in some way, that's when you might get a glimpse of love, and it feels so good for those 3 seconds that you felt loved. You're like, I'm going to enslave myself psychologically to my parents for the rest of my life because that felt so good. But they don't give it to you all the time. They'll take it away again. And then the next time they need to exert control, we'll say, if you want love, you better do what I'm saying. And you had, so it's not a free service. It comes at a price. So we hold love hostage. The way I'm going to explain this to you, this might sound familiar to some of you, but I'm going to walk you through this. The opening of Surat Yusuf is actually telling us how to love family.